Well, hey everybody, we're here today on Ask Extra, and I'm here with my good friend Jon Espy. And if you guys have been on the channel for a while, you know last year we went back to Thailand and enjoyed some time with you. And I want to talk to you today, Jon, about your martial arts journey.
Okay.
And really kind of hear about, because you've made some significant changes. You've been studying a long time, so I want to talk about your journey in martial arts and why that's so important. Jon, okay, so first of all, why don't you just describe the basics of your journey for us? So where did martial arts start for you?
Yeah, so I was about 10 years old. I think I shared last time we were talking about it. Fell in love with, Ninja Turtles and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
As one does.
Exactly, everybody gets caught up in that. And so just really got an attraction to it and started doing karate, Ishinryu karate when I was about 10.
Okay.
And studied that for about a year, 2 years like that. And then my dad was a boxer too, so he taught me to box during that time. And so that's really where I started when I was about 10 years old, up through teenage years doing Ishinryu and doing karate and boxing and bounce around different things. My friends were doing taekwondo. I'd go in and spar with those guys and play with those guys a little bit. And then ended up joining the Marine Corps, and then...
Yut! All right, you're going to have to ask for all the Marines. Tell me, what's your MOS?
I was a 0231. I was an intelligence analyst.
You were intelligence?
I was intelligence,
That tells you
yes.
what's up in the Marine Corps.
Exactly. They let me in, so that's not great. But yeah, to join the Marine Corps as an intelligence guy. I did the line training that was during what was the hand-to-hand defensive tactics or the combatives for the Marine Corps at the time. And then started doing Aikido. I got captain in the Marine Corps. I was Aikido black belt. I always heard about Aikido. My dad told me about it. I was like, I love Steven Seagal movies, so I was like,
I mean, who doesn't love Steven Seagal movies?
Like, especially back in the 80s. Now it's kind of a little weird, but back in the day, it was good.
It was the stuff, man.
It was the stuff. And so started doing Aikido with a captain there. Loved it. Loved the movement and the fluidity of it, and some of the locks and those kind of things. And started doing that I did Aikido for about 12 years. While I was doing that, I was doing judo and a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but nothing major.
Now, during that time in the Marine Corps, you did an overseas tour?
Yeah, I was in Okinawa, so I did a year on the Rock, and then I got out right before we went into Iraq. Okay. And so I thought they were going to stop loss me, and I was like, I'm waiting. I'm like, okay, they're going to stop loss me. They're going to stop loss me, and they're like, you can get out. And we're like,
okie
okay,
dokie.
all right, sure, all right. We got out in 2002, and then I was married by that time. And then began to do judo and Aikido there in Mississippi when we moved back. I got out of the Marine Corps. I got connected with the Mississippi Law Enforcement Academy, who's a guy that's my instructor now, Ron Crew. He was the head defensive tactics instructor at the Mississippi Law Enforcement Academy. And so I began to, because I was working with him in another martial art, and so he brought me in to do some of the techniques at full speed, or at as full a speed as you could.
Right.
And so would do that. And so I got to be in the law enforcement world as a non-law enforcement guy, and so got to help train cops and get my instructor certification under him. Ended up getting my black belt in Taiho Jitsu, which is a law enforcement martial art. Ended up having a brown belt in Aikido, and
So far we have studied some karate and boxing, and then got a brown belt in Aikido, which just takes a ton of work. If you never know any Aikidoka, it takes work.
Yeah, it was a little bit of work. A little bit of work.
And now, I'm sorry, the new system was?
It's Taiho Jitsu.
Taiho Jitsu, that's right.
Yes.
You know how those Japanese words work.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah. So,
and a black belt in Taiho Jitsu.
Yep. And became a police self-control instructor, and so that was the system that Ron had started. Him and some other law enforcement guys, and I was during that time I was mixing in a little bit of Kali, a little bit of knife fighting in there as well. My Aikido instructor was a Kali guy, and really loved Kali and knife fighting, so I was mixing that in where we could, and so we'd do some knife fighting and stuff there. And then moved to Thailand in 2010. Did a little bit of Muay Thai there and some judo there.
You got to do Muay Thai in Thailand, right?
Thailand, yeah. Got to do it there. And then went all the way through to 2012. I was moved back. And the system, the sub-control systems that I was helping teach him as instructor on, we had a ground component to it from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it was very basic. And so I really wanted to say, I was training with some actual really good Jiu-Jitsu guys when I come back down in Tampa, Florida, actually in Brandon, Florida, down there. And was doing some of our handcuffing techniques, and that guy was asking kind of what we do, and I was showing him a little bit. And he had a question on one of the rollover techniques for the handcuff, and he said, "Well, that didn't seem as effective. Can you show it to me?" And I was like, "Yeah." So I tried it, and he kind of could counter it really easily. And I was like, He's like, "How about you do this to it and see if this helps a little bit?" And so it got me thinking, and then started seeing like, okay, maybe there's something else that I'm missing in the ground side of it. And so in 2012, I said, okay, I'm gonna do nothing but Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And so I had moved to Virginia by that point, found a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu school, Pedro Sauer black belt, out in Lynchburg, Virginia at Renaissance Academy of Martial Arts, great school there. Began to do Jiu-Jitsu, combat submission wrestling, and Judo there. Was there for a few years there. And the whole time we're teaching, going back and forth to Thailand, teaching, going back and forth to India to teach, and those kind of things, to teach self-defense for the rescuers. And then we moved back over full-time into Thailand and continued my jiu-jitsu journey there. I've been doing jiu-jitsu and ended up getting my Muay Thai crew there as well.
So Muay Thai crew as well.
Yeah.
And currently, I mean, so I'm gonna be real with you. You see, John's wearing a 4-stripe blue belt, but
blue belt.
we were rolling on. You've been doing jiu-jitsu now for 7 years.
7 years, yeah.
And a couple of our senior ranks were like, "That guy's wearing a blue belt in jiu-jitsu." Now, I gotta ask though, John. There's part of that. So, you know, when you say, "Wait a minute, I have a black belt," so you have a black belt and a brown belt in 2 different arts, and now you start a third one. Is that a problem for you to put on a white belt again?
Not really, because there was something there I was missing. I knew I was missing. I couldn't deny that something was there I was missing. And so I was like, if I want to learn it, you gotta, as the old saying is, you gotta empty your cup. You can't come in with preconceived notions.
Empty your cup.
Yeah, and go, okay, I'm new at this. Teach me. And I had a little bit of ground because of our basic system, but I knew there was a lot more to it. And so when you go, everybody goes their first roll, and you get this freaking
destroyed.
smashed. Yeah, you go, I'm missing a lot.
I'm still getting destroyed. Pray for me.
But that hooked me, and so that was a thing. And always, everybody always says, you want to chase the knowledge, not the belt. And so. I'm always going, okay, what can I learn? And the belts come when they come. You're not going to, focus on that as much. And so you try to be as humble as you can about it, and you really have to let ego go a lot of times.
I was going to ask you about that, because 7 years in, you're like, look, man, a blue belt, and some people would look at that and go, man, what's up with that? Yeah. But you said the knowledge is what you're after, and the belt comes when it comes.
Yeah. It's kind of, you got to leave it at that, because I know it's sometimes like. Not saying that belts don't matter at all, because they do. They do represent.
Sure, they represent knowledge, right?
They represent the knowledge, and so you want to have that. But I'd rather be even all of my martial arts history. I'd rather be the best white belt in the world than the worst black belt.
Amen.
So it's one of those things where you kind of go. You just begin to chase the knowledge more, and you kind of try to let those frustrations go.
And I think what I found in the 6 months of jiu-jitsu that I've been doing is that you wear whatever belt you want.
Yeah.
But don't lie when you hit the mats.
Exactly,
you could say, oh, that guy's a purple belt, and then you roll with him, and you're like, what? Where'd you buy that belt, friend? You should return that to Amazon. It's not yours. Or you see a guy with a blue belt or whatever, and you're like, gosh, that guy just destroyed me. What the heck is going on? So I think it's there. So I think it's important, guys. I wanted you to meet Jon and talk about this idea of growing and changing and finding a hole in things. And now you, and you have for some time, run a ministry. You rescue underage victims of sex trafficking all over the world.
Yeah, we assist in that as best as we can, yeah.
And he's super humble about it. But, this guy, when he's home in Thailand, you say this, you either train or you teach. That's what you do. And you're rolling on the mat 6 days a week?
6 days a week, yeah.
6 days a week. And I think that's incredibly important. And I'm going to brag on him for just a minute. I mean, so here's the lesson for you today from Active Self-Protection Extra is don't be afraid to be a beginner, right? Yeah. So this is why I put on a white belt. This is why, I got a 2nd degree black belt in UMass. I got that in April. And I'm like, some people have said, well, why did you give that up and start studying jiu-jitsu? I didn't give up anything. I brought all that knowledge with me. Yeah. And it helps me in ways, but the ground component, I felt like I needed to come and get some of this. So same reason, right? And I encourage you, check out SWAT Ministries, guys. You guys know near and dear to my heart. I think it's a moral good rescuing women out of sex trafficking, and particularly underage girls out of just terrible circumstances. And I tell you what, we're going to talk more about that in the future. But today, I really want you to think about about being a beginner and being willing to get out there and try something new and change based on the needs that you find and what's going on in the world. And check out SWAT Ministries. And bro, this guy is one of my very best friends in the world. We met last year. Really got to know each other when I came out to Thailand. We love to scuba dive together. This guy, just the other night, we were here rolling at Attitude First and just smashed me like there was nothing flat. He loves choking the crap out of white belts. It's a good thing. You do.
Yeah, I do. Heel hooking white belts and wrist locking them.
That's right. Yeah, he broke me, smashed my face, the whole 9 yards. But check out his ministry, guys. And Jon, man, I'm just proud to know you, bro, and I love you much.
Love you too, bro. Thanks so much, Harold. Thanks for all you guys out there watching.